I'm a pilot by profession, and for work I fly this Bombardier Global 5500 aircraft. Recently, we had the opportunity to take it to a unique destination. On the South Island of New Zealand is a destination called Queenstown. Sitting at the base of a mountain range called the Remarkables, it is nothing short of spectacular. Queenstown is located on Lake Wakatipu, a narrow glacial lake that is 80 kilometers long, which equates to 50 miles. And at its deepest point is 420 meters, which is greater than 1,300 feet. It is fed on the north side by the Dart River, which enters near the village of Glenorchy. And the lake is drained via the Frankton Arm, which is a 5-mile extension that juts off here and runs into the river Kawerau. Along the eastern edge of the lake, here, is the mountain range they call the Remarkables, the highest peak being 2,319 meters, which is greater than 7,600 feet. Queenstown Airport is located at the end of Frankton Arm here, in the valley, and it is to that airport that I flew an approach to runway 23. This is the approach plate I used to arrive at Queenstown Airport. An approach plate provides waypoints, as well as altitudes associated with the waypoints, to safely guide the airplane around terrain. Because of the surrounding terrain in this area, the lowest the airplane can get is 4,100 feet before arriving in this bowl. 4,100 feet is still too high to make a straight-in landing to that runway. Because of this, Queenstown has published unique visual maneuvering procedures that are defined here in this part of the chart. The pilot comes in, makes a descending right-hand turn to arrive at a point where she can land straight in. Jets often land straight in at airports using equipment that provide lateral and vertical guidance down to the runway. It is not often that we get to do these fun visual maneuvers. So when we do get to do them, we are awfully excitable. We had flown in for work and were put up on Lake Wakatipu on the Frankton Arm. Having only 2 days in New Zealand, Naturally, we rented bicycles. We hopped on a gravel trail that passed right by our hotel, and we took it out to Kelvin Heights, which is a peninsula at the end of Frankton Arm, and then turned south along Lake Wakatipu. The trail followed the lake the entire way, and provided some gorgeous views. After spending the day on the hilly grasslands of Jack's Point, watching Cessna caravans take off and land on a grass strip at a jump center we happened upon, we made our way back towards the hotel to scheme how to use our remaining day in Queenstown. That scheming led us to the TSS Earnshaw, a twin-screw steamer still operating on Lake Wakatipu since 1911. The ship is 168 feet long with a top speed of 13 knots. We boarded the ship in Queenstown, and it took us across the lake to a farm near Walter Peak. Along the way, we had the opportunity to observe the crew in the engine room. Arriving at the destination, the crew began unloading supplies for the farm, and many passengers got off to attend a barbecue. We stayed on for the return trip back to Queenstown. We finished the day with a scenic drive up to the village of Glenorchy on the north end of the lake. In Glenorchy, we walked the beach, and and had just enough time for a nice little impersonation of Saruman's tower in Isengard before heading back down the road towards Queenstown. But no visit to New Zealand would be complete without a roadside stop to watch the sheep graze. The stay was short, but memorable. And on day 3, we loaded up the aircraft and said goodbye to Queenstown.